Welcome to the Franchise Woman podcast, where passion and purpose collide, profits are made, and relationships forged. I'm Rebecca Monet, CEO and Chief Scientist at Zorkel Profiles. I'm here with my friend and co-host, community advocate, speaker, author, and entrepreneur, Tracy Kawa. Tracy, we have a very special guest today, Crust Pizza Company CEO, Carl Comeaux. Carl is a dynamic entrepreneur and a franchising expert whose journey into business began at age 16, driven by a passion for transforming lives through originally fitness as a personal trainer. Over the years, Carl has co-founded and scaled multiple ventures, including Fix My Phone, Main Squeeze Juice Company, and building a robust foundation in retail operations and franchise development. His entrepreneurial path took a pivotal turn when he discovered Crust Pizza as a customer. Impressed by the brand, Carl partnered with its founders and has since played a vital role in its expansion. So I'm looking forward to hearing that whole journey. Welcome to the show, Carl.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So did I hear right? Rebecca said that your passion for business began at age 16. Like, what from your childhood inspired that? Tell us a little bit.
Yeah, so my dad, growing up, was self-employed, and so that's all I knew. And so he asked me at 11 years old. He said, "Carl," he said, "would you like to join a gym or play baseball?" And at the time, I was overweight, so I said, "Look, I would love to join a gym." So we ended up joining the local gym, fell in love with it, transformed myself, and then started working at that gym at 14 years old. Picked up an article about personal training and how you could transform other people's lives. The only problem is you have to be 18 years old for most of these certifications. I found one that you didn't have to be, and it was $200. So I saved up my money and went to New Orleans, Louisiana, and ended up getting a certification for personal training and started training at 15. But I wasn't charging anything, and I got really good at it. And then by the age of 16, I started charging clients, and I would train before I went to school, and then I would train after football practice every day. And so I was making $2,000 to $3,000 a month at 16 years old. At the time, it was all cash money. I didn't know what taxes were. I had to have a mentor talk to me about taxes, and that eventually half your money is going to go to taxes. I'm like, that sounds terrible. But anyway, that was my first career, was personal training, and I started at a young age. And seeing my dad being self-employed gave me that same spark to go ahead and do my own thing. And then I've been self-employed since I was 16, and now I just had a birthday, just turned 39. So yeah, it's been a few decades now.
Well, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, all right. So we were a personal trainer. We changed lives. At what
Yes.
point did you decide to go in the business route?
Yeah. Yeah. So personal training, I did that through college and went to college, got a couple of degrees. It took me 4 years to get an undergrad and a master's degree. My parents were like, "You have to go to college." So I said, "Okay, I'll do it." So I did it. But the whole time I was in college, I was working on business plans. And whenever I ended up getting my master's degree, I started my first fitness business. I couldn't train any more hours per day. I was so busy. So then I ended up hiring a personal trainer underneath me, and then learned real quickly that I was a terrible manager. I was a micromanager, and I figured out I need to learn how to manage manage others. And so I learned that process, and before I knew it, I had 7 personal trainers working underneath me, and that was my first business. It was called Lift is 7 fitness training. I rented out a fitness facility that didn't have any personal training or any group instruction, and I ran that entire program and did really, really well. I was able to get 7 trainers all full like I was, and we were transforming a lot of people's lives. And so that was my entry to from going from being self-employed, independent by myself to having a team underneath me, which was cool
Wow.
to learn that process.
We
Yeah,
call that scaling, right?
Scaling, yes, yes.
it's
It's a
really
beautiful thing.
That's really cool that you were so young and it dawned on you that you needed to learn how to manage people. So looking back on that time, if there's one takeaway of, like what you have to do or know or who you have to be to manage people, like what would the biggest takeaway be?
Yeah, a big one is learning different personalities.
Yeah.
That's a big one, right? Like I'm a big fan of disc profile and learning if someone's an extrovert, introvert, more people focused, more task focused. Of course, in the personal training business, uh, personal trainers need to be more people focused, right? Because you're working with people,
Mm.
and so anyway, I got to learn the different personality traits and what makes a trainer a good trainer, and then from there, of course, having systems in place to train employees on this is the way we're going to do things. These are our policies, and this is the systems we're going to use. Was very important to learn. So I'm a big fan also of E-Myth. E-Myth was a book
Oh,
that
yeah.
really changed my life when it
Yeah.
came to creating systems to help manage others and be successful.
Okay, Tracy, we're going to have to introduce Carl to
No,
Zorkel.
I'm sitting here I'm thinking, do you want to say it or should I, right? You need to introduce you to this Oracle profile.
We are big,
Yes.
big believers in what you're saying, Carl. We provide profiling tools for franchisors to help them understand if someone's a good fit in their culture, their stage of growth,
Wow,
fit,
that's cool. I did not
personality, and
know
all.
that.
Yeah, and understanding
So,
their unique business DNA. Very cool.
Yeah, it's so
yeah,
important, right? So important.
it
Yeah.
is. You
Yeah,
get the best out of people that way.
yeah.
So, Tracy, I liked your where you were going with that in terms of what Carl was learning about management.
Yeah.
Um, how much of watching your dad as an entrepreneur, growing your own business, is now kind of coming into Crust or some of the other businesses that you ended up investing in?
Give me that question one more time, Rebecca.
So your experience watching your dad as an entrepreneur, I think I got that
Mm-hmm.
right, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And then you as an entrepreneur who then scaled your fitness business. What
Yes.
was sort of what did you bring then into the other businesses that you started to participate in and invest in?
Yeah, number one thing was leadership. Second is vision. So I'm a visionary. And
Mhm.
so I don't mind being the integrator, someone that's going to take the vision and execute that vision and make a plan. But definitely from taking different tests, I'm definitely more the visionary. And so, of
Mhm.
course, bringing to the table, hey, this is the vision, and then this is the plan, and then now let's go make that happen. So I brought that to the different companies as I went into the next business was cell phone repair with Fix My Phone, and I was able to bring that vision to help make that a franchise. That was my entry into franchising was Fix My Phone, and then from there, then of course we got into the juice and smoothie business, and then now of course pizza. So I went from the fitness wellness space to the pizza space.
You,
Interesting.
it's interesting because we've talked about leadership frequently, Tracy and I, with founders and CEOs, but you're using the word vision, I think is really unique because we do have to cast a vision and we have to have people buy into it, right? Meaning get it, make a commitment to it. And not everybody can do that. Not everybody's good at drawing the picture of something that doesn't exist yet, right? And getting others on board. So does that vision start with a mission? Does it start with a set of values? Where does that vision come from?
Yes, absolutely. At first is the mission, right? What's the mission? What's the outcome we want to achieve? And then from there, then I think of, okay, this is the vision, this is the outcome, this is the mission. And then what's the purpose? Why? Why is this our mission? Because if your why isn't strong, then you're never gonna hit your outcome or your vision. And then if your purpose is strong, then now is the easy part is creating the how. How are we going to achieve this? What's the plan that we're going to put in place to do it? And so I think purpose is number one. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll think I'll have a vision, and then I'll get to the purpose part of thinking about it because I'm a big thinker, and so I will think about it, and then I can't find a strong enough purpose, which then gets me to tweak my vision. So that's the way I look at that.
I love how you're in the big vision, like you're the visionary, but then you can also be, like you called it, the integrator, where you're in the details. Because I don't
Yes.
think most people are able to toggle like a computer screen between
No.
those two. So how are you able to do that?
So I'm a chameleon. I've learned how to because learn how to be a visionary and then also an integrator. I'll be honest, like what takes up more energy is being an integrator because it's not natural for me. Natural is being the visionary, but I've learned over the years we didn't have private equity money. We bootstrapped, and so my first business. Even though my dad was self-employed, like I didn't get any help from my father. It was 100%. I had to come up with that first down payment towards a bank loan to do it, right? I didn't have any outside money. And so I had to learn how to be savvy and how to bootstrap. And when you learn that, I had to learn how to not only be the visionary, but also how to integrate that vision and make it become a reality. And so I've learned that over the years, and so I've become good at it. But now, of course, with Crust, we have a bigger team, so I don't have to be that integrator near as much. I could be more on the vision side, which I love. I could do that in my sleep, like talking to you guys. Like I love talking about our plans and our purpose and what we're doing, where we're going, because it's for me, it's natural, it's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do just that. Let's talk about what Crust stands for, what the vision is for Crust. I want to get into your head here, Carl. What is
Yes.
the mission? What is the purpose? What is the vision for Crust Pizza?
Yeah, Crust Pizza, the vision is for friends and families to gather around and create memories. Crust is doing life together with friends and family. And that's the good thing about pizza. You can share pizza with others. Other cuisines, you get your own entree and then everybody gets their own thing versus pizza. I could get two large pizzas and we all share it together. And so it's something that's shareable. Our vision is we want to make sure that each person that comes in, we change their life each visit. 50% of our business is dine in, and then the other 50% is takeout. So we have a cool ambiance for dine in. The kitchen's open. We play Jack Johnson radio, so it's good music. We have the grays and the wood finishes with the open industrial ceiling. It's a cozy, warm feel, and of course the aroma from the pizza is incredible. It's limited service, so you order at the counter. You get your drink, but then we give you a table tent where you sit down. We bring you your food, so we don't holler your name or anything. We serve real plates, real silverware, and then when you leave, we'll pick up your food for you. But we're big into creating magic moments within our guest experience. If it's their birthday, or if it's a family, we'll go ahead and we'll give a free Cookie Monster or a free brownie with ice cream on it for them to share after they eat their meal. And then for the kids, we're kid friendly. So we always say like we're a great place you could bring your kids after a ball game, but also we're a great place you could bring your spouse on a date night. So it really satisfies both of those. And on the kids side, kids love us because we have little dough balls. They use it like Play-Doh, and they make like their own little action figure. And parents love it because the kids are occupied not with YouTube on their phone. Now they're occupied with something tangible that they could play with while the parents catch up from the day. Or if they sit on our patio, every location we have has a nice patio that's enclosed, so the kids could play on the turf, play with blocks or cornhole. Of course, again for the parents to catch up from the day. And then what happens is naturally, when the customers come, they usually come to us at dine in first. They fall in love with our brand and concept, and then they now will be their delivery to go pizza also. So it's cool how it goes from dine in to go, most of our customers, and how we could create that experience for our guest.
I want to go, Tracy. I don't know about you.
I got the vision of
I'm
the
a,
little
I'm a,
dough balls.
Where do y'all live?
I'm in Northwest Arkansas, and Tracy's
Oh,
in
okay.
Boca in Florida. Um, I'm a
Wow.
cornhole champion.
What's crazy is Boca, we're talking to a investor right now in Boca Raton. And then Northwest Arkansas, Rebecca, is my favorite place to visit. I'm up there like 3, 4 times a year. I'm a motorcyclist. So I have
Oh,
a
yes.
Harley, and that for me is paradise. So my dad and I, we share that passion, and we go up there every few months. We're up there riding those incredible roads throughout Bentonville, and we
Yeah.
go up to Eureka
Yeah.
Springs and that whole area.
Yeah. Do you ever go to what's it called? Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue? The big event that happens
Yes,
here.
yes, we've been to that event. Yes.
It's
It's
massive. I
it's
think it's the
it's
second largest next to the Sturgis event.
that's right. That's right. Yes. No, we've been there a couple of times. And so we love riding. It's one of our passions that we enjoy together.
Maybe we should talk motorcycles, Tracy.
uh yeah, but Rebecca, next time you have to tell me where to go eat. I'll need
Yeah.
to
Well,
hit up some of your favorites.
I'm somewhat new here, but I've been here 4 years
Okay.
now from San Diego. And you're right, there's a lot of motorcycle as well as bike trails that we have.
Yes.
Hey, and when I was doing some research on you, um, came across something you said that you said the more you give, the more you receive.
Mm,
Can you
yeah.
share how you came to that mindset, how that shapes the mission
Yeah.
of Crust and, of course, your leadership style?
Sure. So I went on my first mission trip at probably 21, 22 years old, and I didn't want to go at all. I didn't want to go. I was like, man, I'd much rather go to the beach on vacation. Why go on this mission trip and teach others English? And I went, and then I learned from that trip. I learned that the more you give, the more you receive. So we went to teach, and yes, the people that were there to learn received a lot, but I didn't realize that I was going to receive even more. And so it was just a quick story. We were there on the last day, and one of my students, he was probably 8, 9 years old. we had like a little celebration of where we were all like a little social of, hey, we're fixing to leave, and they got their awards for learning English. And he walked up to me with an ice cream cone, and he said, "Here, Carl," and which was a big deal for him. And so I said, "Thank you, thank you." And I said, "Where's your ice cream cone?" And he put his head down, and he didn't have enough money to
Oh,
to get himself an ice cream cone. Whew, chokes me up.
ooh,
And
ooh.
at that moment, that was the light bulb that went off in my head that what life's about is about giving more than receiving. And the more you give, the more you will receive. Of course, I went get him an ice cream cone, right? I was like, I can't eat this ice cream cone by myself. Like you need one too. But he just, he didn't have anything, but he wanted to give me his last, his last few cents, give me an ice cream cone. And
Wow.
so the impact that I was able to make on him, the impact that he made on me was much bigger. And then of course now that's a big mission for me is to give. Like, our stores, even when we're looking at franchisees, I make sure that that's part of their DNA, is that they want to give. Because here's the thing: the first year or two that you open up a crust, like I want the crust to be known as the local pizzeria. And the only way you could do that is you have to be ingrained with your community and give back. And so at this point, um, after a couple of years, then all these charities and schools and hospitals and all these organizations, they're calling you every week when they need something, and then you're there to give. And then, of course, the more you do that, then the more you'll receive, which then it's amazing how then your revenues go up, your profits go up, and it's full circle. But
Mhm.
when you lead with giving, you'll never lose.
Carl, could you share with our listeners um, what you've been through, the challenges with your son's health the last few years,
Yes.
uh, and how
Yeah.
you
So
that purpose?
yeah. So of course, I experienced that at 21. I'm 39 now, and then a few years ago, my son was 6. He ended up falling off his bicycle, and he fractured his wrist. And then a couple weeks later, he looked really white. So we went into the doctor and found out that he had leukemia. And so he had just turned 6 years old. And of course, we turned to St. Jude, which is a phenomenal organization that fights and does research on kid cancer. And so this was around the COVID time. So we were able to get into St. Jude's, um, and we were able to um, meet Dr. Pui, which is the guy that created the protocol for the chemo plan that Reese went through. And we were blessed because not only that we met him, but he was Reese's doctor, 85 years old, renowned doctor that created the research to take Reese's cancer from a 15 to 20% success rate to a 92+%
Wow.
success rate. And so 3 years later, Reese went through the protocol, and he had a lot of issues throughout that time. And what better doctor than the one that created the plan to help tweak his plan? And Dr. Pui is still doing research today. He just 2 years into Reese's cancer treatment, he ended up learning more about this certain chemo that's really hard on the patient's bodies. And what was good was he came out with that research at the same time that Reese hit the 2 year mark, and Reese was bedridden because of that chemo that he was on, that he did research on. So Reese was able to get off that chemo a year early because of the research Dr. Pui just finished. It was
Wow.
like a 6 year it was a 6 year research plan that he did, and then Reese went from bedridden to not. So anyway, St. Jude has a special place in my heart. Walking those hallways I would always watch those commercials, and it created impact. But when you walk those hallways, it just brings it to a whole new level. So, of course, we were able to create some initiatives within Crust last year to raise money for St. Jude. And we're continuing to do that this year. And each year, my goal is to raise more money than the previous year because of what St. Jude's does. And St. Jude's has such an impact on my family and other people's families that, definitely my purpose for life is even bigger now for whenever I'm creating this legacy, to be able to help these franchisees become successful. Each franchisee that gets successful, and eventually when we have 200, 300, 400 locations, it's just going to increase the impact for the legacy that I'm going to create to give back to St. Jude. And so, my definition of giving has just expanded over the years from that story I told you all, from teaching English to then my son going through cancer treatment. And so for me, it's much more than just the bottom line. It's truly, hey, now I'm driven. I want to make more money so we could give more. So
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
that is
I
great.
got the chills as you were telling the story about Reese and Dr. Pewey. There's God's hand was in all of that. The
Oh,
timing,
absolutely.
everything. Reese was
Yes.
blessed through that whole thing. So,
Yeah. Big blessing for the family. And it's funny because my wife also went through cancer before Reese, a few years before that, and we learned that, okay, look, don't take any day for granted. Like, it's important. Don't sweat the small stuff, right? And we learned that through her trial. And then when your kid goes through it, it just amplifies it even more. And the good news is my wife was cured too, thank God. But now Reese, and so I'm like, okay, what are we learning now? Like, what are we learning now? And it's truly, don't take any day for granted. Live life to the fullest today. Don't wait until you're older. Do it now. If you want to do it now, and live. Don't wait, because you never know. You never know.
So,
you
Carl,
know,
what is that philosophy, or how does that philosophy show up in your work?
Oh, I live it, breathe it every day. Like, it's part of our DNA. So it's in our bloodstream. So everything we do, I'm leading with that purpose of my big vision, my 30,000 foot vision is much more than just Crust Pizza and getting franchisees and building that network and helping transform their lives, because that's the whole idea of franchising. Is I'm able to help others be successful, going from maybe being a burned out corporate employee, making 100 to 200,000 a year, to becoming a business owner for themselves, right? To then the bigger picture for me is the kind of impact I'm going to be able to make, whenever we can, and we're giving even on a local level. And so not only national, but even these franchisees are also giving on a local level. So we're making big impact many ways. And so, of course, whenever I hang my hat up and I'm retired, then I'll probably never retire. But eventually, whenever I slow down, I want to look back and see that we were able to change not only our franchisees' lives, but also all the lives in our communities, through local and national charities.
I like how you've intertwined things, Carl. You are crazy ambitious, but it's not just for the purpose of financial success. It is
Right.
intertwined with the more successful we are as an organization, Crust Pizza, and our franchisees are, the more difference we can make, the more we can give
Yes.
back. So it is
Yes.
really just super linked together, which is exactly where all the success is going to come from. I'm gonna,
Yes.
I'm going to shift gears just a little bit. I want to talk about Crust. So it's grown from this single location to almost 30 now, I believe, right?
Well, we just opened up a few stores, so we're actually at 33 now, which is exciting.
Ah.
Yeah.
And now you have some big ambitions to get this to 250 locations in the next 9 years. So
Yes.
tell us, how do you scale that rapidly without losing the essence of everything you just shared? Does it go back to making sure we cast that vision and that everyone is on board with those same values and that same vision? So how do you scale that big and still keep the essence of the brand you've talked about?
So first thing is clustering the stores together. So we're going to grow organically and close. So we've already sold out the Houston area. We're now expanding into Austin and San Antonio. We're growing that out. I'll get requests for Nebraska and Colorado, all these different places, and we decline those requests. We know that we want to grow organically and we want to grow close where we have great brand awareness in the towns that we enter. And then as we continue to make our way down to the Panhandle, down Florida, up the Carolinas, across Tennessee, Arkansas, we want to be known in the Southeast as the local pizzeria. So
Mm.
that's the vision of how we're going to get to 250 locations. In Texas alone, we could do 75 to 100 locations. It's like its own country, right? Like Texas is
Mhm.
massive. And so that's first, is that's how we're going to grow. And then from there, once we achieve that in 9 years, then we'll look at other states. But right now it's let's grow close. And then the second piece of all this is our franchisees, making sure that we find the right ones, and we look at right person right in the right seat. And so the right person is, when we're looking at franchisees, we want to make sure that they're in line with our values. And so of course the number one value is a commitment to giving back to the community that you're in. So
Mhm.
giving back. So that's our number one. And then of course we have four other values that they need to be aligned with in order for us to go down this journey and see if they're the right fit. Because not only do they have to have our values, but they also have to get it, want, and have the capacity to be a franchisee, a successful one. And there's two different avatars that we look at. One is the owner operator, like we talked about earlier, the burnout corporate employee that's looking to make the shift to business ownership. And then the other one is the multi-unit franchisee that let's say they're in the Houston market. They've done 15 or 20 locations for another brand. They can't grow that brand anymore, and they're looking for another brand. They don't want to move to another city. They want to stay in that same spot. Then let's say we would be a good fit for them, because then say, okay, look, now let's do 10 to 15 crust pizzas in that city. You've been there, done that. You have a management team in place. You understand how to manage managers,
Mhm.
and let's do it. And so that's the two different franchisees that we look at, and then from there, then the rest will just naturally happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, you've actually talked about two clusters. You've talked about the cluster of that independent crust franchisee and keeping them close where they are in fellowship and they're sharing in marketing strategies or supporting one another, that cluster kind of feel. But then you're also talking about a cluster of a multi-unit franchisee that could also be multi-brand. So we're clustering brands at the same time. So it's a double cluster. Was all I
It
got.
is. It's a devil cluster. That's a good way to put it, Rebecca. And these independent owner operators, we're teaching them how to open up their second, third location. Actually, most of them, at first, whenever you start a brand, like, it's going to be a lot more owner operators. And then as you get bigger, then the multi-unit franchisees are more interested. We've signed a couple of them, and we're starting to see more traction as we're getting bigger, as we're approaching 40 stores. And so yeah, a double cluster.
A double cluster.
Double cluster. So, Carl, in our pre-interview, you were talking about some bullet points that you live by for brand culture.
Yes,
Um,
yes. So yeah, I'm big into do the right thing.
yeah.
Make sure that you know every day you wake up, depending on your role, like you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're taking the mission and you're doing the right thing with it, and then doing the best you can, giving 100%. If you see it, do you know, and if there's a problem, fix it. So having that problem solving mentality and then show others you care. I mean, we all have a necklace on that says "Make me feel special." So you know, make sure that you show others you care from a corporate to franchisee standpoint, from a franchisee manager standpoint, from a manager to their staff. We take these three bullets and we apply it. Do the right thing, do the best you can, and show others you care.
Those are
Nice.
great bullets. I'm glad this
Yes.
was recorded. I
Yes.
didn't have a
Me
piece of paper
too.
to write down. I have a tissue is all I
There
have.
you go. I like it.
So this is just fascinating. I want to just ask one more question around the business
Yes.
side of things.
Yes.
Because you guys are doing some very unique things, especially around innovation and operations. In terms of finding ways to cut some of the costs, you also have proprietary systems in place. Can you address that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. So cutting costs, we're really in the cheese business versus the pizza business. That's our number one cost. I mean, we last year did close to 1 million pounds of mozzarella cheese. And so we that's a lot of cheese. And that's not cheddar or smoked moz, that's just straight up mozzarella cheese. And so
Cheese.
we were able to get
Wow.
our own cheese blend. And the blend that we had before was fantastic. And we were like, in order to beat that blend, it's going to take some work. And so we ended up connecting with Leprino, which is the biggest manufacturer for mozzarella cheese in the United States. And we went to the drawing board and we went back and forth because it has to be the right flavor, it has to stretch right, it has to melt right. I mean, there's a lot that goes into this cheese. But the good news is we found the right blend. We did multiple blind tests, and our new cheese ended up winning. And so we ended up rolling it out, and we saved 50 cents per pound. When you think about 1 million pounds, that's $500,000 of savings that we saved the brand by going to our own mozzarella cheese. And so that was a big deal. We also went from a cost plus plan with our distribution center to a price per case, which we were able to save about $1 per case by doing so. And so that's also a big savings. At the end of the day, our profit lies in our COGS and our payroll. So if you get your cost of goods and your payroll in line, then you're going to profit where you need to profit. So that way you can open up store 2, 3, and 4. And so that was big for us. And then on the tech side, my business partner, Nick Fondo, I've been knowing him since I was 18. We ended up doing Fix My Phone together and then Main Squeeze. He created the entire software system for Main Squeeze and Fix My Phone. And for Crust, we were going to do a third party at first. And then this third party was going to had as an open API. So we were going to still build tech features around it to complement what that software offered. And to be honest with y'all, we're just too spoiled of having our own tech. And so we're rolling out our own point of sale loyalty gift card program to a corporate store that's going to be opening up next month. And then by the end of the year, all locations will be on the new point of sale. And what that means for our franchisees is better operations, better optics, better reporting, so that way they can make decisions quicker that will ultimately affect their bottom line and help them be more successful. We also built the franchise section of the software. So everything from the sales portal, the CRM, all the way to ongoing support with checklists and compliance checks, that's all run in-house with our own software. And so it's definitely a magic power that we have that many brands at our size do not have, nor could afford to have. And so Nick, my business partner, he's a genius. He's phenomenal with tech, and we're so grateful to have that as part of our magic powers with Crust.
Very cool.
Magic powers.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
So I could go on and on and on talking here, but I want to bring it back to St. Jude's.
Yes.
You guys have raised how much money now? 100,000 for
Yeah, that was last year, 100,000, and then this year we're going to be raising more than that.
Okay. So a shout out to St. Jude for bringing Reese back to health.
Yes. Amen.
And giving back is a beautiful thing. So I really appreciate you being here and for sharing your heart. Your story about the little boy that brought the ice cream made me want to cry. It was just that thought of someone giving their last whatever, trying to say thank you for what you've done to me. That
Yes.
really kind of pulled at my heartstrings. And of course, your story about Reese is just a beautiful one. Never mind, your wife went through this. This is just
Yeah.
crazy. So thank you for joining us today and sharing
Yes.
your story and sharing the story of Crust Pizza Company. Tracy, I'm going to punt it. Where's my mouth? Over to you for any closing thoughts you might have.
Well, first, Carl, where can people reach you or Crust?
Yes. So crustfranchise.com is a great place to go to learn more about our mission and vision of Crust. And then I'm on LinkedIn, so you could connect with me there and shoot me a message. I love connecting with people there. And then also I'm at many of the franchise and restaurant conferences speaking on franchise or restaurant. So yeah, definitely if you've heard my story, definitely if you see me at one of these events, definitely introduce yourself. I love making connections.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Carl, you're so bright and energetic. Uh, the thing that strikes me most about you is there's the story. I'm going to totally botch it, but I'm going to try, right? Where the man is hit by a car and he ends up in the hospital, and everybody's like, oh my God, that's too bad. But like that night, his house burns down, and they're like, thank God, right? And the story goes back and forth and back and forth. I mean, there might even, I think there's a biblical version of that story, right?
Yes. Yes.
I think like as I hear you talk, I'm hearing that like this happened with your wife, but you turned it into this cause, and this happened with your son, and you turned it into this. And each time, like God trusts you with more, and you're given more
Yes.
responsibility, and you put yourself in a position where this happened to me. I'm going to make sure that nobody else goes through this. I'm going to task myself with this. That's incredible.
Yes.
Because a lot of these things can happen to other people, and they may or may not do something beyond just fix that immediate situation. You
Yeah.
take it and you completely apply it to the world, to a
Yes.
greater, something greater, than just a person. Like it's more than just the money, it's a purpose. It's like you're so on purpose. Your life is so purposeful. Thank God and blessings to you and your family and your son. That's what I got to say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh. That was beautiful, Tracy. And that's exactly
Yes. Thank you.
what it feels like. Taking something ick and looking at the blessings in it and then bless others with what we learned out of it. So again, Carl, you're a
Yes.
wonderful guest. We seriously appreciate you carving out this much time as a CEO. You're changing the world. So we appreciate your time.
Well, thank y'all for having me.
And to those of you listening in today, make sure to like, comment, share Carl Comeaux's interview. And of course, we'll see you next week on another episode of the Franchise Woman Podcast, where passion and purpose collide, profits are made, and relationships forged.